Roe v. Wade is about to be overturned, which means at least 20 states will be banning abortion outright, even in cases of rape and incest. But let's be honest. If it weren't for rape and incest, most of those states wouldn't even have a population. Ben Shapiro came in his pants at the thought of children being forced to give birth to other children. He came so hard that he's now in a coma. We are not praying for his recovery. He claims to be pro-life, but I don't believe him.
On Sunday, Senator Bernie Sanders took to Twitter to deliver one of his usual messages. People go to the doctor because they're sick, get a diagnosis from their doctor, but they can't afford the treatment, he wrote. How crazy is that? So I responded snarkily, I go to a fancy store to check out a piece of furniture and I can't afford it. Totally crazy.
Snarkily.
This, of course, prompted spasms of apoplexy on the left. How could I dare to compare medical care to furniture? Was I equating the two? Was I suggesting that the necessity of furniture was somehow comparable to the necessity of medical care?
No, you were comparing human beings to furniture. And as much as I would like your sister to use my face as a chair, human beings are not furniture. Human beings are breathing. Snarkily.
Of course not, because that would be stupid. I was pointing out that medical care is a commodity, and that in life, we are often faced with commodities we cannot afford. But this...
Healthcare is not a commodity. If it were a commodity, we'd be able to trade it with other countries. But other countries don't view healthcare as a commodity. They view healthcare as a human right. Snarkily.
Your observation caused a ruckus on the left. Necessities don't compare to luxuries, said one angry tweeter. Bless characters like Ben Shapiro for demonstrating the complete soullessness of capitalist ideology, tweeted another. The idea here seems to be that unless you declare medical care a right rather than a commodity, you're soulless. That is...
Well, we already know you're a soulless little worm, but it's actually just a dumb argument. Healthcare is a human right. That's just a fact. It was declared so by the United Nations. Not to mention, we have a right to life written into the Constitution. It's on the 14th Amendment, which guarantees equal protection under the law. Why should you receive treatment for why should you receive the best treatment for the illness that you have, but I'm not allowed to receive that same treatment for the illness that I have? And in fact, why would you wish illness on anyone if you're pro-life? Because you're not pro-life. Anytime you're wondering what the motivations behind any policy that a Republican implements, it's power. They believe in power for the sake of power. Money equals power. The best way to control the population is to keep them poor. And unplanned pregnancy is the number one source of poverty in the world. That being said, I'd like to share my own abortion story with you. When I was a young man, I was dating a girl. Her parents were fundamentalists. I accidentally got her pregnant, but couldn't afford an abortion, so I decided to try to talk the father into paying for one. We sat down, and I reminded him of the story of Abraham, who was visited by God and ordered to kill his young son. I told him I was visited by God, and I needed to pay for an abortion because God told me to. I told him, as he was handing over the money, just think of me like Abraham, except with better timing.